So the location is the Irish Trail in Jonkershoek, Stellenbosch, and this is the specialized global media launch for the Levo SL. You're looking at the SL Expert Carbon model, and I've been trading this thing for a few days, and I'm going to give you a quick bush talk / tech talk on what it is, who it's suited to, what I like about it, and a general rundown of the stuff. So there's first off the range, there's five models in the range. There's one alloy and then 4 carbon models, and that includes a Founders Edition, of which there are only 250 being made, and they're available on a first come first served system through your local bike shop. This is the SL Expert model I've been testing, which is one down from the S-Works. I've been testing a large. Let's chat a little bit about the geometry. The reach on the large is 455, your BB height is 348, the chainstay is 437, wheelbase 1217, and the seat tube is 455. So it's exactly the same geometry as the Stumpjumper. Compared to the current edition Levo, it's the chainstays are 18 millimeters shorter, which means the wheelbase is 18 millimeters shorter. So the geo is exactly the same as the Stumpjumper, just 18 millimeters shorter than the Levo. And it does have a flip chip to adjust BB height a couple millimeters and head angle about half a degree. Let's talk a bit about the motor, right? So it's an all new motor. It's the SL 1.1 motor. It doubles your effort, basically. Like, that's what you really want to know, is how much assist is there. It's 240 watts, and it doubles your assist out on the trail. So the Levo is 4 times U, or 400% support. The Levo SL is now 2 times U, or 200% support. So the torque curve is super responsive, which means this is the key difference on this motor that I feel is it's super responsive and super natural feeling out on the trail. There's almost immediate uptake on the crank, so the assist is right there. It's super sensitive, very, very natural. The bike comes with a core battery which sits inside the down tube here, same as the Levo. It is removable. And there's an extender which you're seeing here, which sits inside your water bottle, which weighs 1 kilo, so it weighs like what a liter of water weighs, and that gives you an extra 50% range. I'll talk a little bit more about the range in a moment. The bike is set to a limit of 32 k's an hour. The motor itself is super light, 1.9 kilos, which is the same as the Creo, incidentally. And the motor is specialized, it's waterproof, so you can ride through a river, completely submerge the motor in water, and you're not going to have issues. That's the motor. This edition, the Comp or the Expert Carbon, let's just chat a little bit about the build kit. It's a Fox 34 with a Performance Elite Fit 4 fork. It's a Fox DPS 3-position adjust on the rear, on the shock. Incidentally, I've just been running it in one setting, the middle compression setting. 780 bars with a 27 millimeter rise. This is the Fact 11 carbon that Specialized are using, and it's full carbon right through. Carbon stays, carbon front section, everything's carbon. Brakes are super powerful 4-piston SRAM G2, which I like. It's the first time riding them. They feel similar to the Codes, almost maybe a little bit more powerful. It's a SRAM GX mech on the back, and obviously it's Eagle. It's 12-speed. This edition comes with carbon wheels, the Roval Traverse hookless with a 30 millimeter internal diameter. Interestingly, it's 29 by 2.3 tires. With a Butcher Eliminator combo, which are in the Grid Trail front and rear, Grid Trail casing. The core battery, which sits inside the down tube, is a 320 watt-hour battery. All right, so what you need to know, the basics. It's a 29er owner platform, 29er front and rear. It's a 150 front, 150 rear bike. Yes, you can put a 160 fork on. Probably not going to be a great idea if you put a 170 fork on. It's probably going to lift the BB a little bit too much and take away some of the stability. It's essentially the SL is a downsized Levo. which comes with an optional range extender, which pretty much equals the range of the 700 watt Levo. So it's not something I've tested, but I hear that Buck from Morgan Hill did back-to-back testing with the 320 watt hour core battery and the extender battery, and riding on eco settings, the standard eco settings, and compared that with a 700 watt hour Levo motor on the same support settings, the standard eco settings of 30%. And in fact, because this is a lighter system all the way through, the range on the Levo SL was marginally more than the range on the 700 watt hour Levo. So that's interesting. The bike is 4 kilos lighter than the Levo, so that's kind of how it all works out. Just speaking of weight, the S-Works large with tubes is 16.9 kilos. This model, one down from the S-Works, it's about 17.1 with sealant. Depends on how much sealant you put in there, but it's a couple of 100 grams heavier than the S-Works model. Some of the tech geeks out there might be keen to know that the main pivot on this bike, the main pivot down here, is a little lower than on the Levo, and the axle path is more rearward than on the stump jumper. So it's got the rear of this bike's got great rollover. When you go into braking bumps, you go into something technical, stay off the brakes, let the bike roll. 29 wheel on the back rolls over nicely, and the rear axle path just helps the bike push through brake bumps and the like. The big significant change, according to the engineers, and which is live now today. I think the changes to the Mission Control app are the big changes, and they're live today on the lift of the embargo. Basically, there are massive upgrades to Mission Control, which means, for example, you can set your heart rate zone that you want to work out on. So if you want to ride in between 70 and 85%, you wear your heart rate monitor and you link it or pair it to the Mission Control app, and the bike gives you enough support to keep you under 85% heart rate and reduces support if you are going below the 70% heart rate target zone that you pre-program. You can pre-program whatever target zone you want, so you can set it for a recovery ride, you can set it for a flat-out hard workout. I believe that's something that they worked with Eldon Baker, one of the world's best motocross coaches, on, actually also ex-South African. So I believe that's something they worked with Eldon on, because Eldon's motocross riders have been using this for recovery rides and so on. So that's one of the features on the new Mission Control app. The other feature, which is more exciting for me, is something that removes any range anxiety. You can set the Mission Control app to give you the exact elevation you want to achieve on that day, and it will give you more support or less support until you've achieved that elevation gain on that ride. So if you want to do a 1200 meter, 1200 meter elevation ride, you tune the Mission Control app to achieve that, and it gives you more power or reduces power so that you can achieve that elevation goal. You can also do it on distance as well. So if you want to ride 35 Ks or whatever it is you want to do on distance, it alters the support that's coming through the system so that you can achieve that goal that you set in. I think the big question on the Levo SL is, who is it for, right? Because the Levo is not going anywhere. The Levo is a great package. Now the Levo SL, which is it's almost the same package, just downsized. So the big question is who is it for, and is it for you, and why should you go for this one over the Levo model? So, I mean, I've done right now I've done about 60 Ks on it, and I'm going to do a couple more Ks over the next few days. My take on it right now is the Levo is it's a full power e-bike. When time is of the essence, the sun's setting, you get home from work, you've got 45 minutes and you just want to de-stress and get out. You get home from work and you just want to get out there and de-stress. The Levo might be the bike to get you there quickly so you can enjoy the trails and get the de-stress. And there's many other examples where the Levo is going to be the bike for you. If you're recovering from an operation or had something up with your health, or people new to the sport, you might want to go with the Levo because of the amount of support that it offers. The Levo SL really, I think, is riders who want trail bike feel on their e-bike. So they're happy with less support, they're happy with less power out there, and they still want to do the same kind of range and riding. They're happy to take maybe an hour longer to do their 45k loop or whatever it is, but they prioritize the trail bike feel, the agility of the trail bike, the maneuverability of the trail bike, and that's what I think the Levo SL will appeal to. So there's going to be a broad use for this bike, like kids coming into the bike. This is a lighter package, so it might be the e-bike for kids who want to ride with dad and that kind of stuff. There's so many applications for it. So my final opinion, I feel it rides like a trail bike with assist. You can literally pop, play. You can have the same thought process that you have when you're on a trail bike and look for the precision on the trail and set up, pop, play, nose wheelie into stuff, and the bike is intuitive and responds and behaves like a trail bike. Your brake points are the same as on a trail bike. It wheelies like a trail bike. The short chainstay really makes it wheelie. It's so much easier to wheelie and manual through stuff. I really like it. I think it's going to appeal to a broad range of riders. I'm going to do some more testing on it, and there'll be a full review on the site soon, bikenetwork.co.za. I'm going to sign out from the Irish Trail in Jonkershoek, Stellenbosch. Big thank you to Specialized Global and South African team for hosting us, taking care of us, pouring wine into our faces in the evening. I'm going to get out there and do some more shredding. Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. See you on the trails. Peace.